Welcome in, everyone. I am joined today by the seniors of the boys basketball team. We got Royce, Matt J, Dave Trupiano, Sam Maddox, Sam Thompson, and the chain, of course. Thank you guys for joining me. How are we doing? I know you just got done with practice. Is Kurt running down a lot, or easy practice going forward?
We worked on a lot of defense today. I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, pretty much it was all defense. But
Awesome.
It wasn't too bad.
So what we're just kind of doing is doing like a mid-season review, I guess, with you guys. Just talking about memory at Howell and then what you guys are looking forward to. So I guess I'll really start with Sam Maddox here. Sam, you have now are like since the injury to Sam Thompson, looks like we lost Shane again, but due to the injury to Sam Thompson, you've really like your point per game has went up a lot. What has gone through your mind for that to happen? Or you just, it's the next man up mentality?
Well, obviously, it's a big hole losing Sam, and that's an easy 25 to 30 a game when he's not in there. So I just had to be ready to step up. And Coach Jacob talked to me about that and just making sure I was confident and really wasn't overstepping and just taking easy shots, making easy plays. And I'm really just looking to do that over the next few weeks until he recovers.
Awesome. Dave, you and Booker kind of fell. Booker was starting with Sam, but then Dave, you filled that starting role. What was your mentality when you first saw Sam go down? Obviously, you never want to see a teammate go down like that, but Billy, my partner, and I, we've always said that you could be a starter on any other team in this area. What was it like to finally get your senior starts and stuff?
Oh, well, it was fun. It was kind of a little nerve-wracking, but I prevailed. I'd like to think I've been playing all right, so it's good.
And then Royce and Matt, of course, you guys have always still had your solid minutes. Matt, I was able to watch the game last night. You hit some solid threes. And then Royce, we've always said this about you, that you're not really a man that would score a ton of points, but you provide probably the quietest, most quality minutes on a team. Is that what you kind of look forward on the court, or do you just go out there and play and whatever comes happens?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part. What was the last part of your question?
So do you just what is your mentality when you go through your minutes, since you are like a quiet player that, you won't average a ton of points, but you'll probably play the most quiet, most quality minutes?
Yeah, I just really try and bring a lot of energy when I have my chance to get out there and play and just kind of give the team whatever they need to get the job done.
Awesome. So what is, in your guys' opinion, one thing you guys think you can work on going forward as a team? I'll start, I guess, with you, Royce.
I think the biggest area we can improve right now is on the defensive end. We can always get better on defense. We can always find easier ways to get stops and get that flowing into our transition game.
Same thing for you, Matt, and I guess everyone probably can agree with him on that.
Definitely.
yeah, absolutely. On defense, we got to just make sure we stay solid. Not let them not too many buckets in the paint, because last game we kind of gave up a lot of paint buckets. So we got to limit those as much as we can. Also on the offense, work on just scoring inside more. We're getting a lot of shots, which is good, but we got to really acquire Dave because he's playing well underneath. So we got to make sure to give him as many touches as possible.
Awesome. I'm going to start with Royce again on this one. Royce, what would you say your favorite Howell moment is, like as your time as a part of the Vikings or just a part of the school in general?
I would say my favorite Howell moment would be last year in maybe sectionals, I think it was, against Fort Zumwalt North. That was a super hype game. I mean, they had KJ Lee, who's a big prospect, and we just put a lot of time and focus into preparing for that game, and we came out firing on all cylinders. It was just awesome to watch and be a part of.
Matt?
I'm actually going with that same exact moment, especially after the game, whenever everyone all ran to the student section, and before COVID, obviously. It was just awesome just getting the win and just celebrating with everyone.
Dave, we'll go with you next.
I would just say my favorite Howell moment would be last year's Francis Howell North game when players in Clayton Kogel hit 5 threes in a row and won a bet against Preston. They can't be spoken about, but that was definitely my favorite Howell moment.
Sam?
Mine was actually sophomore year. We were all sophomores against Fort Zumwalt South. it was kind of like going into it, all the papers and all the big like news organizations were saying that, oh, it's going to be a 2-point game. Like, this is the top matchup of the city. And we walked into their gym and beat them by like 35. And it was just definitely one of the most memorables, but there were just so many people at that game, and the support we got from our fans was ridiculous. I don't think anyone was expecting the amount of people that we had at that game. So it was a fun one, and I'll never forget it.
Was that the year where JJ Schweppner, was that a varsity year for you when you guys like played JJ or?
Yeah, that JJ. So yeah, we were sophomores. He was a junior, but we shut him down that game, and even
we played JJ DJ.
Yeah, that was their big year, but we did a pretty good job of shutting them all down.
What about you, Sam Thompson?
I think he's frozen.
He's lagging.
I'm gonna do the playoff. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. You're good.
No, we can't hear you.
Well, I think it's the playoff run. Our sophomore year. Can you hear me? That's great. Our playoff run sophomore year from the South games and North game, that was super fun. And then going to being able to go to Springfield for the Final Four. Unfortunately, I dislocated my shoulder, but other than that, I will cherish that the rest of my life. So
definitely gonna have to put you in some bubble wrap. So where does the buzzer beaters kind of rank you guys? For both Sam, where does those buzzer beaters though rank for you guys? Was that, I know Sam, you told me last week that was your first one, Sam M. What about you, Sam Thompson? Have you hit one before that this year, or was that your first one as well? So I want to say it was his first.
Or Sam?
Yeah, Sam Thompson.
That was my first one. Yeah.
Where would that moment rank for you, Sam M?
Yeah, that was my first one.
I mean, it definitely is high. It was more of just like the quality of that win more than the actual shot, because we knew like how good that team could potentially be, and we saw they had a dude, and he had 34 that night. But really, just coming back in that fourth quarter was just a great moment for the team. And it really showed our resilience and what we can be going forward. Even if we lose a great player like we did Sam, we got to pick each other up, and that's what we really did.
So I'll start it back at the top again with you, Royce. Who is, I guess, one influential person or just one person in general that has really helped you with your time at Howell and that you really want, like, if you would thank one person, who would that be?
I think the easy go-to answer for this one is obviously Matt Shark. I mean, he's been a pillar of Howell basketball for all 4 years that he's been there, and he's got the scoring record, and he just competed harder than anybody else on the court at all times, whether it was a game or practice. And I think if I want to model my game after somebody or like try and work as hard as somebody, it's got to be Matt Shark.
I would say Matt Shark for the reason that just his resilience, and he will like chew you out, but it just makes you a better player, and he'll let you know if you're doing something wrong. And I think throughout the years, I think I've made a pretty decent step in my game since the junior year. And I think that's because of Matt Shark, just because how much he pushed me in practice.
Big Dave?
I would have to go with Landon Shipley. He comes up and practices with us from time to time, but he's a tough love kind of guy. If you mess up, he'll let you know. He'll definitely let you know. But then if you do good, he'll compliment you. And he's helped me a lot, yeah, especially with my confidence.
For me, honestly, on the player end, I'm going to probably have to say either Patrick Schulte or Dalen Dalton, just because I played those guys' positions, and they've always been older than me and really just guiding me and showing me that once I was an upperclassman, what I was going to have to do. And then on the coaching end, Shipley, just like Dave said, I mean, he knows what he's doing. And he obviously played at the Division I level, and he comes into practice, plays with us, and pushes us. So it's just great to have him around.
Is that the JV coach?
No, he's a varsity. He's an assistant.
Oh, varsity assistant.
Yeah.
All right. Sam Thompson. I was praying for this moment to work.
Definitely Matt Shark. 100%. No doubt about
All right, awesome.
it. Crazy. Don't mad. That's all I gotta say. You make him mad, you're gonna have a rough practice.
How would you guys describe Coach Jacob in a way? From when I've talked to him, he's really nice and quiet, but obviously once you like enter that gym and enter the floor with him, when no one else is there, it's probably a different scene. What is he like, I guess, behind closed doors?
I mean, he's a fantastic coach. All of them are. We have a great coaching staff. Coach Jay, you know, he kind of gives out like that chill vibe. You know, he's like that pretty much most of the time. But obviously, he'll let you know if we need to work on something. There's nothing much more I could say than he's just an all around fantastic coach. I mean, anyone else have anything to say about that?
I completely agree with you, Matt James.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. This was a fun
Yeah, I
and
think-
interesting conversation that
I
we
think he's
had
one of the best
today.
coaches, yeah. Or if not the best.
Thank you, Sam Thompson. Always appreciate your input. Always good talking with you guys. I'm excited to see you Friday night against Howell Central. Should be another good one. Good luck. And once again, thank you guys for joining me. Have a good rest of your night.
Absolutely. Thank you. You too.
Thank you. It's fun being on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.